Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday. It is the 8th day of December 2022. I hope you're healthy and safe today on this Thursday and that your family's also healthy and safe. And I hope that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here every day trying to save lives, oftentimes risking their very own. And those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks and parks and stairwells, buildings clean. And those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. The victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses on the perpetrators, the perverts, and those profiteers out here trafficking in human flesh. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, mostly children, that are on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night. The New York Knicks hosted ATL and Leprechaun. And the New York Knicks spanked them, 113-89. Second straight game, the New York Knicks held an opponent under 90 points. We're now seeing Tom Thibodeau-style defense. Finally, now look, Deuce-Grimes-MitchRob had 34 points, 17 boards, 6 of 12 from 3, 8 of 8 from the line, 10 of 19, monster game, 5 assists, monster game from Julius Randle. I was concerned, though, when I saw James Dolan ask for his autograph. James Dolan went to the sideline and asked Julius Randle for his autograph on the basketball. And I don't think Julius Randle's job can be any more secure than that. That's another thing for another day, I guess. But let's look at the Knicks. So the thing is, Jalen Brunson stunk last night. He stunk on both sides of the ball. He stunk offensively and he stunk defensively. It was emblematic or typical or an example of how terrible he was last night. 2 of 14 from the field. Why do I bring that up? Not because he had 6 assists, not because Jalen Brunson is a bad point guard. Or RJ Barrett, who shot 4 of 13 from the field, ended up with 15 points, 7 boards. No, it is how much importance defense is in the NBA in winning. Defense covers up all of those problems. And so with the addition of Grimes and MitchRob together, and then when you bring in the Deuce card after that, the defense is at a high level. And that's with Hartenstein, who is horrible on defense. I mean, bad. Okay. He can't guard his shadow. He really is bad defensively. And the more time goes on, the worse he looks, actually. And like I said, I am not concerned about Jericho Sims. I believe the cream rises to the top and eventually Sims will get those minutes. It's a long season, y'all. So don't worry. It's like I told y'all before about Deuce getting his time. I kept telling y'all his time will come. And it did. Okay. As far as Cam Reddish, obviously he didn't play. Evan Fournier didn't play. Derrick Rose didn't play. And the thing about Reddish is this. Some of y'all get confused easily. Okay. I said he's the most talented player on the Knicks. I haven't heard Tom Thibodeau say that. And some of you are saying, well, how are you going to take the most talented player and not play him and start crapping on the Knicks? Some of y'all just don't need any excuse to crap on the Knicks. But yet, the thing that bothers me about it is you call yourself Knicks fans. Please go root for the Nets or somebody else and stop coming to us. We don't need that. And some of y'all claim it's real. No, it's not real. If it's constant negativity, it's not real. It's just negative. And straight hate. And sometimes I really do find it funny because it's kind of sad to read some of y'all constantly being negative and thinking you being smart or real when you're not. But anyway, I told y'all McBride's time would come. And guess what? If Reddish stays put, his time will come. Why? Okay, let's talk about Emmanuel Quickley. Now, last night, Emmanuel Quickley, 2 of 8 from the field, not a great shooting night, but he's always, he brings a positive to whatever team he's on out there, with whatever 4 he's with. It's a positive. He's a positive factor, no matter what. I mean, he usually is. If you just look at the stats, he's always, whatever team he's on, whatever 4 is out there with him, he's positive. So he's a very talented basketball player. The Knicks are blessed to have him. He's too talented because he's going to start for a team. He cannot start for the Knicks, as I mentioned multiple times, because they committed to Jalen Brunson. They were committed to getting, he was a target, Brunson was. So they were committed to getting him from at least last season. This time they were looking at Jalen Brunson. And then as the season went on, they were more and more. And that's why the league is looking at him with tampering, because it was a locked deal by the time free agency came. It wasn't even no contest. The Knicks were getting Jalen Brunson. With that position, with that focus, IQ is never going to start for the Knicks, at least not in the next 3 or 4 years. Okay. So with that, IQ being at a situation where he knows he could start in the NBA, he could definitely play in the NBA at a high level. So he's like, I need to start. That's why he's probably going to get traded. I did not think it would happen this year. And I mentioned that before. I thought it would happen next summer. Because they really have him, the Knicks, under their control for at least 2 more seasons. So they can hold him, but that doesn't see what happens is that creates a bad taste around the league. It's a players' league. And although the Knicks do have control over him, if it was like Kevin Durant or somebody that's a top, or Antetokounmpo, no, you're going to hold on to him. You're not going, you're not going to let him dictate to you. But even in those cases, as you remember, Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans. So, but most of the time, it's a players' league. And if a guy is telling you he wants to leave, you're going to try to facilitate that. That's what some of y'all don't understand. It's a players' league. Okay. So that being the case, if Quickley is saying, I want to start for somebody, they're going to make moves to try to trade him. So now the question becomes, how much value can I squeeze out of Emmanuel Quickley? And they're not going to rush to just take anything. They want to get the best deal they can for Emmanuel Quickley. So if that means now, trade him now, and I can understand that rationale. If you want to trade him now because his value is high, he's young, he hasn't gotten hurt. And so you can sell that to some team as this guy's got tremendous upside. He can start for you right now. Can you give me a first for him and a young player? You see, that's the type of thing they talk about. Or if the Knicks are on an upswing and he's playing a major role, wait till the end of the season, if you could, without him getting hurt, because now his value is even higher and there'll be a bunch of bidders for Emmanuel Quickley. So that's why the talk is talking about trading him. Now, if they trade him before this trade deadline, Cam Reddish is going to be in the rotation automatically. Because now you have Obi Toppin, Hartenstein, or hopefully Sims, but then you have Deuce and Cam. That's what you want. Okay. So I understand, I read also like everybody else, Cam's representatives is trying to push for a trade, and I hear that, but the Knicks can't tell Cam, we're trying to trade Emmanuel Quickley and you're going to get his minutes. They can't say that. So I would try to hold off on trading Cam unless he is just adamant. I don't like New York. I don't like this management team. I don't like Tibbs. I want to get out of here. Then you got to trade it. Because again, it's a players league. But I don't want to lose both IQ and Cam. And I don't think we have to. If somebody could talk to Cam, just say, be patient, bro. Just be patient. You're going to get your chance. Just be patient. Okay. Look, Deuce waited more than a year for this opportunity. More than a year. You didn't hear a peep out of Deuce. And he was, I think he hurt his knee once last year. Somebody landed on his knee and he missed a couple of games, but he's been there. He's been available. He's been ready. He hasn't, he's been very good in terms of his attitude with the team. And so that's what Cam should be looking at. I understand Cam is up against it right now because he's in his contract year. Deuce ain't, but he's got to be patient. This could be really good for him if he waits. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking the Knicks are going to try to pull a Quickley trade first, no pun intended, quicker, So that now Cam is back in the rotation, and now you won't hear nothing from Cam because he's going to get all the minutes he could get in it because he's going to be in the rotation. Okay. I'm hoping that's the case. All right. So right now it's a 9-man rotation. It's got to be a 9-man rotation. Obviously it works. You've seen the last 2 games. It's worked. 81 points. Cleveland scored 89 points. Atlanta scored. Lockdown defense. You got to keep that. Okay. You can't mess with that. So I hope that they can hold Cam off and his reps for about a month, because then maybe they can put something together in, between now and January sometime where they could get a high value back for Emmanuel Quickley, who's going to leave anyway. And then Cam would be in the rotation, because I really don't want to lose both of them, as most of you guys don't. But don't act as if the Knicks are trying to get rid of these guys. Don't act stupid as if they're just trying to get rid of all their talent and close their bench out. It's more than that. You got to look closer than just cursory Twitter. Okay. It's more than that. So I think we could still keep Cam unless Cam is saying, I got to get out of here. Or unless somebody gives them the Godfather offer that they can't refuse. Like, I'm going to give you a first. I'm going to give you an unprotected first. I'm going to give you a young player. I'm going to give you a second for Cam. You might have to do that. But I'm thinking, all things being equal, Quickley is going to be traded. They're going to have to get the highest value they can for him, and he's going to be a starter on some NBA team. Then you're going to have an opening in the rotation that could be Cam's for good. Okay. Unless some team is promising him a starting role as well. And I don't think he's going to get that yet. I don't think he's going to get that. I'm looking around the NBA, even at the lottery teams, and I don't know if he would get that starting role anywhere right now, but he'd be a solid rotation piece for the New York Knicks right now. So, and then in that, as a rotation piece, he would also get some spot starter opportunities with injuries and so on and so forth. So, you got that. So I'd like them to hold off. I'd like them to move. If they're going to move somebody, that they're going to have to move quickly. I don't want us to lose quickly, but that's the way this politics and business of the game is working. So move him, and then you could keep Cam happy and put him in the rotation. Like I said, I don't think he's permanently out. He's too good. But right now the Knicks are too stacked with a 9-man rotation. So he's got to wait. And then just bide his time. He'll get his opportunity. So will Sims. So, Obi last night hurt his knee. I saw the play. It wasn't serious. It was serious enough so that he was out the rest of the game, but I don't think it's going to be significant. Didn't look that way to me. I'm not a doctor, but we'll find out. I think he was walking around, after that. So I'm hoping that, he comes back Friday against Charlotte. But what I did notice with Obi getting hurt, Tom went 8. He didn't have like somebody else, like Cam or somebody else step up. He went with 8. And that's going to probably be the thing. If somebody gets hurt or he's going to go 8. He had 9-man rotation. Obi's in it, but then Obi gets hurt. He goes 8. So, and I like McBride had 27 minutes last night. I think that's the most he's ever played in the game for the Knicks. 27 minutes. He only scored 3 points, but he was, as McBride usually is, he was plus 19. Okay. And between McBride and Grimes, they put the clamps on the Leprechaun. They put the clamp. They were already guarding DeJounte Murray tough. But when he went down and it was just the Leprechaun and Bogdanovich, they was on lock, period. And the only time they got loose was when they switched off of one of those 2 dudes. Okay. But other than that, they was on lockdown. So when you have a lineup that includes Deuce, Grimes, and MitchRob in it, which they did run last night, that's a tremendous lineup right there. That's a defensive lineup. And that's why the Knicks held Atlanta to 17% shooting from 3, 38% from the field. Okay. Out rebounded them 55-39. That's MitchRob right there. MitchRob and Julius. Julius had 17 boards, but 16 was defense. Cool. But MitchRob had only 10, but 9 offensive rebounds. That's 9 extra possessions you get. That's big time. Okay. Defensive rebounds are important too, but you get 9 extra possessions. That's huge. MitchRob plus 17, 8 points, 10 boards, 9 on the offensive end. defensive anchor, if there ever was one, is Mitchell Robinson. Against Click Compella making $100 million. And some of y'all talking about Mitch was overpaid. Some fool had the nerve to try to answer me on Twitter like that. Some of y'all just like to be fools. But anyway, no, we got him cheap at $60 million, y'all. And he is the defensive anchor. And the Knicks are back to Tom Thibodeau style defense. Thank you, Tibbs. So now we going forward. And listen, forget all this fire Thibodeau. It ain't going to happen. Some of y'all can remain, in the drug-induced cloud of thinking Thibodeau's going to get fired if you want to. He's not. Okay. He's going to stay for his 5-year tenure unless he decides to leave, which it don't look like he is, unless he's health declines, which I hope it doesn't. So yeah, you got Tibbs for the duration, and I'm glad we do, because now the Tibbs defense is back. Okay. So now the Leprechaun was on lock. The Donovan Mitchell was on lock. Next. So now we go to Charlotte. Can't sleep on nobody in the NBA. It's the league. But I'm very confident. You know what? There was a point about the third quarter where Julius was letting go of the rope. He just was relaxing, laughing. He was getting too relaxed. It was that situation that has caused us to lose games in the past. But because he was out there on the floor with both Deuce and Grimes at that moment, they weren't even, there was no letting go with them. There was two dogs going at the Hawks, and that brought Julius back to focus. I'm liking this. This is going to be all right. Yeah, this is going to be all right. So, yeah. Next game, Charlotte, tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that. Right now, the Knicks are 12-13. They're 9th in the East. But look, they're 9th in the East, right? But they are exactly just one game from the 5th seed and a game and a half from the 4th seed. That's where we are right now. They're 9th, but they're 8.5 from the 1st, and Atlanta is 5th, and they're 7.5 from the 1st. One game separates the Knicks from Atlanta from 5th to 9th. And then the Brooklyn Nets are 7 games out of 1st, and the Knicks are 8.5. That's a game and a half. So the Knicks are only a game and a half from the 4th seed. Okay. And we're just starting to play. I told you they're going to get better as the time goes on. They're just starting to play. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm not going to see the Friday night game, but I'm going to see the replay. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, y'all enjoy your Thursday. Be good out there. Be safe. Shalom.